Good morning. So you can see I'm out. It's just coming up to 20 to 3 now. I've been out walking, and so I'm sort of like 10 minutes in. So I'm out exercising. I can feel the rain coming down, which is good because it's going to keep me cool. So there's the evidence. Ankle weights, 3 a.m. Right, so I'm going to talk about this is the follow-up basically to, sorry I'm showing from this angle, but it's easier for me to record when I'm walking with the camera away from me. Right, so yeah, so this is the follow-up to the video I made yesterday when I was out walking and I got lost around the back of around the back streets of where my sister lives. So right, there are two people in front of me. Right, so I'll probably walk slow so I don't catch up with them, so I can talk quietly. Anyways, right, so I walked around because like I said, I wanted space because the place was a mess, and also it wasn't necessarily that the place was a mess because I could have started the cleaning up process, but it's one of those where I just thought it was outrageous that the bank can decide to lock off my sister's money, and being so stupid, and it may sound arrogant, but I find most people stupid. By contrast, it is because I'm not stupid why I've managed to navigate this situation with my sister single-handedly. I will say single-handedly, because what I get from the carers are the one who comes 7 days a week to wash and dress her for half an hour every morning, and the one comes in the evening to take her to the toilet and put her to bed. That, you see, so that's the sum total of assistance that I get. So yes, I'm doing this single-handedly, and I've had to use my brain. Mostly I've had to use my brain as a means to getting the upper hand, for example, with the social worker, who, rather than trying to help, was trying to find fault. So, having navigated my way back to the flat yesterday, I decided before I went in that I was going to contact the bank again. And this time I was going to put my sister on the phone so that should I decide to go public, I've covered all the angles. And when I say all the angles, any questions that they care to ask me, I can give them a clear yes or no. Did you try to speak to the bank? Yes. Did you try to get power of attorney? Yes. Right, so the power of attorney thing, I already said I didn't want, because my sister has all her faculties. There's nothing wrong with her brain, and I am not in the habit of doing the thinking for other people. And in this society, the times in which we live. Right, I'm going past this shop, and it's still saying due to unforeseen circumstances, we will be closed to August 10th. Today is August 19th. Right, I've already done the videos on that. Right, so, yeah, as I said, I'm not in the habit of doing the thinking for people, and my sister has all her faculties so she can think for herself. So I covered that angle and I covered that base So I called the first woman I spoke to when, this was before I recorded yesterday's video. She was doing the old, "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. I feel sorry. I'm so sorry for your situation." And what I try to explain to people, I'm not in any situation. It's my sister who's in a situation. It's my sister who needs help. And as I keep saying, I can easily walk away. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be there. I could have walked away from day one. And that's one of the main cards that I have to play. But it got to the point where I'm now homeless. You see, so I will have to start again. But that's neither here nor there. Because people would say, but you chose to go and look after her. Yes, I did, but I didn't know it was going to take 2 years. But that's not, the 2 years thing isn't a line of defense. Right? I wouldn't use that and say, well, I didn't know it was going to take 2 years as my main card. But the fact that I've been there 2 years and haven't dumped her off in a care facility, as the social worker was trying to get me to do, and I've made videos about that. The fact that I've managed to keep things going and that she is improving from something that's supposed to be degenerative, she's actually supposed to be getting worse, not better. I confidently tell people that the only reason she's getting better is because of me. There are no doctors involved or anything. She doesn't want any hospital appointments. Again, it's her own mind. She knows her own mind. I don't do any thinking for her. I may make suggestions, but I don't do thinking. All right, just look at this road. Nothing. You see why I like to come out this time of night? When it's dark, rather. This time in the morning. Because if I'd come out last night, say at 11 o'clock, I wouldn't have come this far, because you start to meet people. And I prefer when there's no one around, see nobody, nothing, no traffic, nothing. Perfect peace. Right, so anyways, like I said, she has her own mind. She knows what she wants and what she doesn't want. The only thing is, it would be fantastic if she had the same mindset. Not that I want anybody to follow my ways, because each is an individual. But if she had the attitude that I have to sickness and recovery, she would have been better by now. But it is what it is. But she's getting better, whether with her cooperation or not. But it's a slow process. Right, so, like I said, this video is about the bank, my dealings with the bank. So, spoke to the one person before I recorded yesterday's video. "I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do." There's always something that you can do. If you're locked off the bank account, you can unlock it. That's what you can do. And I've been in positions with people before where I've told them, not asked them or requested, I told them what they need to do. So when I got in, I called, put my sister on the phone, and it was a young man. I can tell by, obviously it's young people that they're employing these days, but I could tell that it was a young man that I was speaking to, a young man of no experience. So he was talking and sympathizing, or whatever they do, like I said, from a perspective of having no experience. And then he went to speak to his manager. And I mean, this has been going on for a year, so I know the drill. And the manager didn't come to the phone. What happened whether it be somebody hung up because they looked at the details and they saw the history of the many times that I contacted them, and they didn't want to take the call, or they didn't want to be on the end of what they were going to receive or what they imagined they were going to receive. Anyway, they hung up. So then I called back, and it was a Scottish woman who answered, and she was doing the sympathizing as well. But the difference was she was trying to see what she could do. And guess what? She managed to do the thing that I've been trying to get them to do for 1 year. Right? Which was, there are certain direct debits and standing orders that my sister once cancelled, but they wouldn't give me access to her account so I can do it, online. And also, because what they did, they locked her account online so that I can't get on there, because I was perfectly honest. And when I was talking to them, I could have pretended to be my sister, because all she needed to do was give me her details. But I didn't. I dealt with them honestly and said that, telling them what the situation is and so on with her. And it became farcical, because even one time I put her on to talk to them, because I said, we have to talk to her. And I know that they're not going to be able to understand what she's saying. And it's like, sorry, we can't understand. And I said, yeah, but that's what I told you. You see what I mean? So, like I said, I'm dealing with idiots. The majority of times when I have to deal with people at the other end, in the position of authority, I'm dealing with an idiot. So it's for me to manipulate the situation. So as I said, I contacted the Daily Mail. With first one I spoke to, I don't do threats. I tell people what I will do. And I went ahead and did it. Contacted the Daily Mail. I'm not going to sort of go into the history of me and the Daily Mail. But all I need to do, I can ring up the Daily Mail or the Sun, tell them who I am, say I did a couple of articles with you. They can just go on the computer, find the articles, and say, oh. And the way the media works, if they can get mileage out of it, they will do it. There's plenty mileage in this saga, this ongoing saga with my sister. Loads of mileage. The amount of angles that it could be covered from. I know this. And it's whether or not I want to go ahead and put it out there. But like I said, I covered myself so that, because it's not going to go anywhere if the question, did you try to get power of attorney, comes up, because the answer is no. And the reason, as I said, that I didn't want to do that is because my sister has all her faculties. And I am not in the business of doing the thinking for other people. I mean, for some other publication, newspaper, TV show or whatever, they would be interested in that angle about giving a person the right to, even though they can't walk or talk, good morning, to be able to, do their own thing. Or rather, just have you carry out their wishes for them. And I've said, if my sister said to me she wants to go into a care home, I will say, are you sure? And if she says yes, I'll say, all right, then no problem. Whatever she wants, she can have. Right, so, anyway, so basically it's kind of funny and ironic that throughout these 2 years, even though I'm the only one who has been bothering with my sister, I have been cast in people's minds as the villain. Even the bank regards me as the villain. So I explained to them why her bank account is run the way it is. That every time her money goes in, I take it out so that they don't pay the direct debits and the standing orders. So you see, I wasn't dealing with an idiot yesterday, the Scottish woman, because she got it. I said that's why. And what she did was she spent an hour and 16 minutes on the phone with me. So in combined time, it was nearly, between the three people I spoke to, nearly 2 hours. But the bulk of it was spent with her, an hour and 16 minutes. And by degrees, she managed to sort it out, because she went down a route of saying that maybe I can call back tomorrow. I said I won't be calling back. But what I will do is I will go to the media, and I will, when asked, I said to her that I only called to cover myself, and I will answer the question as to whether I've explored all the angles, and because I have to be able to say yes. So I said, this is what the call is about. It's not about whether or not you want to unblock my sister's card and her account, because I have money. Because it was ironic, while I was on the phone talking to her, the woman from the bank, my customer had arrived to pick up his 2 blinds and 3 cushion covers with cash to pay me. So you see, so while I'm wrangling on behalf of my sister, I'm getting paid in cash. So the bank is not, the bank isn't controlling my money, right? So again, it's like different attitudes. My sister has one attitude, like I don't have any direct debits. Even I pay the rent from my account, my sister's rent, but I don't have a direct debit or standing order or anything like that. I do a transfer. Even with my phone bill, I do not pay by direct debit. There are people who will do that to save 2 pence. That's the other thing I'm going to come to in my next video, after following off from the back of this one, about penny pinching men. Can't stand them. Right, so where was I? Yeah. Right, so I basically told her what I would do. And so she decided, because remember now we're winding up the conversation and she's telling me to call back. I said, I'm not going to call back. I said, I could technically walk out the door and leave my sister to her fate. And there's nothing at all that anybody could tell me. Nobody's going to turn around and tell me I'm a bad person for doing it, because she has money. And you, the bank, not you personally, I said to her, is preventing her from having access to it. How do you think that's going to look in the media? And I think at that point, she started to think clearly. At that point, she decided to see what she can do. And guess what? She managed to go into the account, and it didn't occur to her at this point. I had to help her with the thinking. But she, because obviously my sister has all her faculties, so she knows what her direct debits and standing orders are. But she wanted her to say which one she wants cancelling. So obviously, because my sister has a speech impediment due to her condition, I had to say to her, well, why don't you just read them to her, and then she can say cancel, don't cancel. So that was the procedure. She went through all of them, obviously having established as she's talking to the account holder and the person authorized to speak on her behalf. So she went through that process and did that, and of her own accord realized how much money my sister was paying out over the year that I've been trying to cancel them. That was the reason why, because they're looking at it and thinking, right, somebody's going and robbing her bank account. And the reason I was doing that, I said, there's things that she doesn't want to pay for, why, you're not giving me access to cancel them. Not her personally, the bank. I said so this is why I've been doing things the way that I've been doing them. And they're looking at it from that end, that they have a problem with the way the account is being run. So I said to her, well, if I can't get access to do the thing that my sister wants me to do for her, I will use my initiative, which is what I did. I used my initiative to take the money out of her account. Sorry? What's that? Yes. Huh? Say that again?
24/7 shop now, open.
Shop, I don't think so, no.
Is it?
No. What are you after? The only one open is the petrol station.
Is it?
Yeah.
Petrol station?
Yeah, just there.
They don't have it, what I want though.
Well, I don't think there's any shops that you're going to find open at this time around here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, so that's somebody wanting a shop. That's open. Anyway, yes. So we managed, between the three of us, to get done what I've been trying to get done for a year. Can you imagine how much of my sister's money has been taken? Like, for example, she had English Heritage and something else, and they were taking like big chunks. She had membership with those, because she used to go on tours and visit historic sites and all of that. She was that kind of person. But obviously she's stuck in the flat and she can't do that now. So there's no point her having that. So like I said, that's not the reason why I don't have direct debits and standing orders. But sometimes you might have a cash flow problem, right? So and the payment doesn't go through. Like, for example, with our landlord, I'm just walking around for exercise.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around for exercise.
Okay, that's it. Come here, where do you live?
Just right there. Yeah.
Here as well. I'm just looking up here as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you off to work or coming back?
150. Give me a number, may I link up now?
No, everybody wants my number to link up.
Give me a number, pick up my neighbor.
No, I don't do that sort of thing. I don't actually mix with people. That's why. No, not at all. That's why I'm on the road at this time walking, because there's barely anybody around. Yes. Because I just don't. I just don't. All right. Take care. Have a good morning. Bye. Right. So that little experience is gonna go into my video, the next one that I'm going to do on the return leg. Right. So winding up, you see some complete random man sitting there wanting my number, right? Because I said good morning to him, but he's sitting waiting for a bus, and it's like a number to link up, right? So that's going to go in the next video. All right, so I'm going to wind up. Basically, the whole point of this is they said they couldn't. There's not, oh, sorry, we can't do anything. But from a year ago, they could have. But as I said, I was dealing with stupid people who were too proud to hear what I was trying to say to them, who were too stupid to find a solution, that they couldn't understand what my sister's saying, to have the patience to listen to her and allow me to tell them what she's saying. Because at one point, I had one of the idiots, a young man, and he's saying, "Oh, I only want to speak to her," or something. And it's like, well, you don't understand what she's saying. You keep asking her. You keep saying, "Sorry, I don't understand." And I'm here, and I can tell you, and you don't want to talk to me. You only want to speak to her. You see, so you have idiots like this in positions that you're having to deal with. And that's what I've sort of been having to deal with these 2 years. People in positions, not so much of authority necessarily, but fronting, so that they're representatives from the various organizations that I've had to deal with, including the bank. And finally, only because I said, I put it to her how it's going to play out in the media, and that I wasn't, because I've said to them before that I'm not going to call back. The only reason I called yesterday was because I was in that frame of mind. I was up early sewing, cutting fabric, sewing, because I needed to deliver 2 blinds, 2 cushions, because the client is going on holiday today for a week. So needed to get them done as I said I would. And, so like I said, up early. And then having my sister to deal with as well. You know what I mean? So not only have I got the responsibility of a deadline, I've also got my sister to deal with. So at the point yesterday when I was on the road, she went to bed until coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she didn't have anything to eat because the sewing took priority, right? The sewing, and people would say people come first. Nobody can tell me that people come first, because if people come first, why haven't anybody helped or actively got involved in these 2 years? I'm going to sort of like wind up by saying that there's one of the neighbors who the carer comes every morning at 5:30, 7 days a week. And this neighbor said, "Ew, the carer comes," because, some of them are nosy. "She comes really early. I hear her pressing the buzzer." Yes, you hear the carer coming early, pressing the buzzer. But in the 2 years that we've been there, you haven't noticed that my sister hasn't been outside. And people would say to me, "Well, why don't you ask for help?" My sister didn't ask me to help her. I went there and I observed that she needed help. That's how I ended up there. Everybody who lives in that building knows the situation, because from time to time I'll see them. "How's your sister? Give her my love. Tell her we're praying for her." And it's not occurred to any of them, there's a garden, a communal garden. It's not occurred to any of them that maybe they can come and give me a hand to take her outside. Right? So they will notice on the one hand the comings and going of the carer. But they won't notice, but in 2 years they haven't noticed that my sister hasn't left the flat. Right, I'm going to wind up there because, like I said, I've made my point already. The whole point being that when people say they can't, you find that they can. So as I said, the same way they locked her bank account and blocked her card, the same way they could unblock it and unlock her account, which they did with a little bit of, if you would like, a little bit of leverage, if you want to put it like that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.